beautiful people. How you guys doing today? Welcome to this episode of the Fisayo Toyo TV show. I know you guys missed me. I know it's just been like, it's 1 day or 2 days, but we are back this Wednesday, and guess what? We have a guest. But anyways, I'm skipping ahead of myself. Papi and I, you guys know Papi, Olua Papi, my car and I, my studio, everything. We're so excited to have you back for today's episode. Woo! Anyways, like I said already, I have a guest, and today we're going to be talking about keeping focus in a world full of distractions. So, my guest's name, can you guys guess if he's a guy or a woman? Like, can you guys tell? You can only see the person's arm. Anyways, his name is George Wonah. Did I say it right? George Wonah. And I know him from my church. We're in the same department. We're both church workers and everything. So yeah, I asked him to be a part of the show, and he gladly obliged. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was kind of like a struggle because George does not like the camera and everything. But you know, when you meet this bubbly personality, you can't say no to it. Anyways, let me just bring him into the frame before he just comes out of the car and runs away. So yeah, you guys meet George.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, Papi and I were so happy to see you here. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Let me just adjust so that everybody can see you.
Okay.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I am.
Do you want water?
Champagne will do, but maybe after now.
Okay, cool. Alright, so we're going to be talking about keeping focus in a world full of distractions. I talked about this in season 1 already. I did 3 episodes, and I basically talk about how, for me, when I'm distracted by life, one of the ways that I get back on track is just focusing on God, because He's the author and the finisher of our faith. So I mean, George, what do you think?
Of course, He is. That's from a religious standpoint. Anyways, most times when it comes to focus, I don't make it to appeal to Christians, born again Christians alone. Focus is broad. It's a really broad topic. So there are some people out there who do not believe in God, but who still need the message in this world full of so many distractions. I mean, it's even worse now than it was before. In the days before social media and all of those technological advancements that brought us here where we are, we didn't have too much to grapple with. But right now there's too much information, good and bad, out there, and then we have content providers who do not relent. All they just want to keep putting out content. So it's difficult for somebody who is untrained, for somebody who is not disciplined, to actually be focused in this era, in this day and age. But with a few tips, everything is possible. Actually, everything is possible. If you want it bad enough, you will get it. And then for me, for instance, I'm a movie freak. I'm a social media junkie.
Yeah.
I write, and so it would have been really difficult for me to focus on anything. And then I'm a writer. For writers like you are a writer, it's difficult sometimes to maintain focus and bring out an article when there's somebody who wants to text you. There's a text you want to reply. There's a video you want to check out and all of that. But when you set your mind to it, you can always achieve it. The first thing I would always suggest to anybody, who is interested in trying to be focused on a particular thing is know yourself. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, know what distracts you. Yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Try to understand what your greatest distraction is.
For me, it's technology. Generally, and I need technology to work. That's
exactly.
So it's.
You can actually manage that. For some people, it's like me, it's all around, like me, to technology, movies. But there are some people who are not really bothered by technology. They are movie freaks. They cannot see a movie or hear about a movie and not watch it. There are people who spend hours, days watching movies. I used to be like that. When Lost.
Binge watching
Oh my
TV
God.
shows, yeah.
When Lost came out, I didn't have the time to watch the TV series the year it was launched. It was 2 years later, and then I needed to catch up.
Weekend.
You won't believe that on a weekend I didn't go anywhere. I was 7. I was 7 in Abia State. I used one entire weekend to finish 3 seasons.
Wow.
I didn't go anywhere.
Wow.
And in today's world,
like
somebody who is reasonable will understand that I had lost productive time.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
just
a whole weekend.
Just because I needed to catch up to...
So you had food, you had everything in the house.
I didn't do anything productive. I didn't write one sentence. I didn't read any book. I didn't do anything. I just wanted to make sure I was up to speed.
And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to what you said, because that binge watching thing, you just sit down and just in one go finish everything.
You just burn. And you know that time is nobody's friend.
Yeah.
What I've realized about time is that time is not patient with anybody. It does not cut anybody slack. Whether you are a king or a pauper, whether you are a ruler or a servant, the same 24 hours allotted to the wealthy man is the same one the poor man on the street has. It doesn't cut anybody slack, say on the grounds that, this one, let me just help him meet up. So I'm going to go slower than I would ordinarily go for this other person. So when you spend so much time doing things that are not productive, you're really losing time. And it's difficult to recover time, if at all it can be recovered.
How do you normally, keep focus apart from knowing yourself?
Okay, first of all, knowing yourself, knowing what distracts you, and then come up with a plan. The first thing to do is, or the first thing I would ordinarily do, is to block certain time periods. Let me explain that. For instance, I would say, okay, between 9 to 12 on Tuesday, I want to read a book. I have the book I want to read. I don't want to leave that book. I don't want to leave my library. I don't want to leave my office or my bedroom until I have finished 10 chapters. So I've calculated that it will take me 3 hours to finish 10 chapters, because the chapters are actually very small. The pages are not that voluminous. So you block time periods. You give yourself, okay, 9 to 6, 9 to 12, whatever fits. The truth about maintaining focus is that there's no science to it. It's more like, how I would rather describe it is, you throw stuff on the wall. Whatever sticks is what you go with. What that means is you keep experimenting, because what works for one might not work for the other. So you just keep trying out new methods. Like I said, number one, you block certain time periods. You tell yourself between 9 to 12, between 9 to 1, or if you're just starting out, you can do it every 30 minutes. Or between 9 to 9:30, I want to focus on one task.
Because I was going to ask you, can people take breaks?
No, I'm going to get there. Okay. It's step by step, phase by phase. Now, the first phase, like I said, is blocking certain time periods. Okay. The next one is introducing rewards. You'd say, okay.
Psychologist judge people. He's hiding his talent from the world, but this show has brought him to you people. Okay, now
so introduce rewards. You tell yourself, okay, if I can focus and complete this task, I will reward myself. Most people have sweet tooth. Whatever it is you
there's
like,
always something.
There's always something. Yeah. You can decide, okay, once I'm done with this task, I'll just go out and see a movie. I'll go out and get pizza or chocolate or ice cream or something. The idea is reward yourself for something.
Actually, used to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Because when you begin to anticipate a reward, you would want to focus and finish the task, because you know that this reward, you like it. This is something that gives you pleasure.
Have you ever owned a dog before? Just I think that's what they do when they are training dogs.
Actually, yes.
You owned a dog before?
His name was Snoopy.
Oh my God! I just knew it. The way he was like, you have to reward. I said, this guy, you don't own dog before.
An Alsatian puppy.
Wow.
Beautiful dog.
Aww.
He was killed anyway. Somebody broke into the compound and cut off the dog's ears. It bled to death. Yeah, it was a painful thing to see, to experience. Because I was the one that kept taking the dog to the veterinary, but it didn't survive. Since then, I refused to own another dog, because I was connected, so to speak, to the dog. I really liked that.
And now I wish I had not brought up this dog. Anyways, moving on. Rest in peace,
Snoopy.
Oh, God.
All right, so rewards and then breaks. You can introduce breaks for the first suggestion I made, when you block off certain time periods, say, okay, I'm going to study, I'm going to write, I'm going to perform a particular task from 9 to 2, from 9 to 12, and then from 12 you just give yourself maybe a 10 to 15 minutes break, because it's really difficult to focus, to stay that focus for a long time.
Yeah.
So what you do
because
is
I was going to say, like, I think initially you mentioned maybe like 9 to 6. Some people, that's
no,
too long.
in between you give yourself, the idea is, when you block 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., what you're saying is, between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., I'm going to focus on this task. This is what I'm going to achieve. I will not watch any movies. I will not respond to any messages on my phone. I will not send or receive emails. But that is not to say that you will not give yourself breaks.
Yeah.
You can decide to give yourself break if you take 10 after every 1 hour, or you take 15 after 2 hours. Whatever works. Like I said, there's no hard and fast rule. There's no science to it. Whatever works for you. When you have worked for an hour and you feel that your concentration is beginning to break, you're beginning to wane, you can just get up, take a walk, drink water, chat with somebody, and that. Now, for another thing is, try to make your activity fun. All right, try to make whatever it is you're doing fun. By that I mean, okay, let me give an example. Let's say, most times reading could be very boring and painful. In fact, painfully boring at times. Yes, really. Well, although some authors now have started trying to break the gray pages with pictures and images, but the truth is, reading at times could be very painful and boring. So what I do is,
depending on what you're reading,
depending on what you're reading,
depending on what you're
when you're reading.
Yeah.
So what I do is, I try to make my reading fun. Let's say I'm reading and I'm beginning to get bored, or tired or something. I will try to read using different first of all, I'll start reading out loud using different accents, and I decide, okay, let me see, how would an Indian pronounce this word? I'll pronounce words in a sentence. How would an American, the British accent, the American accent,
yourself while you're reading.
while I'm reading, the thing is, I'm still reading, but it's now fun, because I can break and then laugh and say, oh no, I didn't get this accent correctly, let me try this accent again. But I'm still imbibing, I'm still getting what I'm reading. It makes it fun. So when you make whatever activity you're engaged in fun, you will focus more on it, because most people are deterred by boredom. They don't just want anything to be too boring for them. So if it's exciting, if there's a reward ahead, you'll understand that, okay, I'll do it. I'll focus more on it, because I'm going to get something out of it. I'm going to get a kick. I'm going to get some form of pleasure or some form of reward out of it. And then also know what time period works for you, most importantly.
I know, yeah. Like, there are times where I'm more productive at night.
Exactly. Now, I have this friend, John. When we're writing our exams, I prefer to read during the day and sleep. I'm not a night person, But John, I didn't even know he preferred to read at night. So getting him to read during the day was always a problem. So
you guys like study buddies or something?
Yes, we were. I was actually squatting in their family, as it was closer to school. So there was no point at which we could meet at all, because John would not touch his books until 11 p.m. And 11 p.m. I'm getting ready to go to bed. So know which time works for you. Know which time period. Are you a morning person, an afternoon person, a night person? Because
for people that have like a 9 to 5 now.
For a 9 to 5, that's a routine job. You don't have a choice. The fact that that's where your salary comes from is enough motivation to want to focus. Because there are some companies where, like where I was working, we do weekly appraisals. You know that, okay, on Friday, 4 p.m. appraisal starts. You would want to focus from Monday till that time, because you would need to have something to show that you had accomplished for the week. So for that one, the test or the appraisal ahead of you, it's enough motivation for you to focus and do the work. It's much easier to stay focused when you're working in an organization that has rules and regulations they're supposed to abide by. They have principles and all of that guiding them, all of these multinationals. But for entrepreneurs and for people who work from home, creatives most especially, creatives, yes, that's why I did this. Creatives, they have this thing, if they're not feeling that thing, if they're not in that moment, they can't do anything.
It can be quite, like, I know.
You know?
I don't even know.
But
Because, I mean, like I used to have a 9 to 5. You get so it's something that you just need to kind of like learn and curb yourself.
Exactly.
That's the honest truth, because there are times where you don't have a choice. You have to deliver it. So
exactly, especially
like
when
whether you're going to do it at night or during the day, but you shall. So yeah.
When your next meal depends on it, most especially, you would want to deliver.
Yeah.
So for creatives who are self-employed, it's usually difficult for them to be focused, because I mean, they would say they run their business, they have all the time, they're not working for anybody, but they're the ones who even need to be focused more, because there's no system controlling them.
Yes. I think it's a case of you build your own system.
Exactly.
So like I have a system that works for me, that, you know, in as much as sometimes I'm in my own world, it still has to fit into the normal, you know, like,
regular office
regular
settings.
like, yeah.
Exactly.
So,
You know, so that's you're actually right. You know, for you to maintain focus, like let me borrow from what you. Let me just in fact amplify what you said. You need a system. You need a plan, without which you will just be wasting your time. And then you need discipline as well, because it's easy to make plans.
Yeah.
You know, what is a plan now? Something you intend to do within the shortest possible time or within a period of time. That's what a plan is. And then how to go about it. So it's easy to just put down, okay, Tuesday, 9 a.m. meeting with so and so, 10 a.m. read 5 chapters of this.
Like,
but
you actually have to kind of like work towards it, because, you know, like when I built like a certain system for some things I'm doing, and I realized it's until you start implementing it,
exactly,
then you know whether that system works. Then you have to tweak some certain things, because you're like, oh my gosh, you know, like, okay, for example, even with this show, like when I first started, I realized that obviously internet is faster at night. So like I had like a certain time period I needed to be awake to upload videos on IGTV, because for some reason IGTV people, if you are watching, I beg, make you help our ministry, because I don't understand. As in, it was really affecting my sleep pattern. But yeah, so I had to basically do some certain things just to make sure that everything comes out on time. You know, so yeah, like sometimes you might have to sacrifice some things.
Exactly.
Yeah, even if it means like you sleep, you can always catch up some other time.
You know, sacrifice and discipline go hand in hand, because if you're not disciplined, you can't make sacrifice. What is sacrifice? Sacrifice is just delaying gratification. You know, so it's only people who are disciplined that can actually delay gratification. And then another thing is, what you're engaged in, the venture you're engaged in, that thing that you need to be focused on. Do you have a passion for it?
Yeah.
That will also determine how much effort, you know, you will direct to it. If you do not have a passion for it, you can do all the plan, read all the books about discipline and all of that. But once you do not have a passion for what you're doing, it will be difficult for you to focus. So I always encourage people, go after your passion. Make it economically viable. It will not be difficult for you to be focused for something you're passionate about. In fact, it will be a joy, you know, each time you're working towards it. For me, for example, if somebody says to me, oh, I need you to help me write an article, I'm like, wow, thank you. I'll be the one thanking you, because
you're passionate about it.
Like, what's his name now? Vindaza will say, I live for moments like this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm passionate about it. And I would tell myself, you would not get up from this seat until you have done 200 words.
Man,
that's because it's something I have a passion for. And then, you know, writing, when you give me, when I have different people who, you know, get me to write different stuff for them. That way it helps me, it expands my knowledge as well. Because there's some topics like you don't you don't just get up and start writing, because you do not have any knowledge of it. You need to research, and then you're not just making research and then regurgitating what you read on the page. What you're writing is, okay, this is how I understand it. You're expressing it in your own words. You know, I'm excited about words and writing and all of that. So, like I said, it's
if you have any writing, you know, jobs, this is your guy.
Oh, please,
he's obsessed.
yes.
He's actually obsessed.
Oh, I'll drop my number. Wordsmith, pen man, whatever you want. Poems,
ladies, if you check
love letters.
If you check out his Instagram posts, you people are going to be sending me DM that is he single? I beg, help my ministry. But yeah, no, I'm just joking. He's really good with words.
It's good to identify what you're good at early. Not really what you're good at, because you might not necessarily start out by being
What
good
you're
at it.
passionate
What you're
about.
passionate
Yeah, that's
about.
true.
Once you identify that this I am attuned to this thing, I'm passionate about this thing, you would want to be good at it, you would want to grow in it, you would want to, excel, you would want to, first of all, you keep pushing the limits, you keep challenging yourself. When I started writing, it was difficult to write technology and really serious corporate stuff because because now I'm more diversified. I was more of a creative writer. Stories, poems, heartbreaks, and in fact, heartbreaks were my specialty. But
story for another day. Don't worry, we'll feature you for another episode on that relationships. Watch out for that. Anyways.
But as I started getting, because writing is something I'm passionate about, each time I get an article with specifications, they want you to write about so and so thing, I take the challenge, I welcome it, I own it because it's what I'm passionate about. And then I find it easy to focus. Like I said, it's what I'm passionate about. I block off time periods. I reward myself. I'll tell myself, okay, when you're done, I love chocolates. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you before.
Yeah,
I love chocolates. So as I'm writing, I'm anticipating
that chocolate.
Oh my God! I'm already, seeing myself
all these
in
clothes don't fit anymore, but that one is just like, yeah. Don't be like George. Don't keep eating chocolates. All of you that have a tendency to.
So I'm trying not to sound too textbook, with the suggestions I'm making. We're both making the suggestions anyway. We're trying not to sound too textbook. We're trying to give you stuff that are practical, from what we have practiced ourselves, and then from what our friends around too practice. It's not enough to just read a book and come and say, okay, you have to do this, because you will not even be convincing enough, because you know that you're just quoting somebody's words. You have not experienced it before. But I know that we have tried blocking off time periods.
This thing you actually said, there's a name for it, that blocking off time periods, called the Pomodoro technique.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, so
please go on. Now I'm learning, I'm the student here.
It's actually something like, apparently you're supposed to use like a timer, maybe if it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, true, yeah.
Then you focus on that task, and then that reward thing, like you take breaks.
What did you call it again? It's
Pomodoro technique.
Pomodoro sounds like Yoruba.
I'm telling you, right? But I think it's actually
Pomodoro
Italian
technique. I like
something. Pomodoro.
I've learned a new word. Trust me.
Yeah,
I would make sure I use it when I get home.
Yeah. So like when you actually started talking, I was like, oh, I really picked the right guest for this show. You know what he's talking about? These people. I mean, I'm giving you guys spiritual everything. Now I like coming to the practical side. So
no, but the foundation of our foundation is God. Christ is our foundation.
Yeah.
We can, at the end of the day, you can try all of these techniques and nothing works because you're trying to do it by yourself and for yourself. And God is not going to be. God is not going to. That does not glorify God.
Yep.
And God is a jealous God. He doesn't share His glory. He doesn't like self-effort. If He did, He would have wanted us to contribute.
I can do it all by myself.
He would have wanted us to contribute to Christ's death now. Imagine that, okay, I've given my son to die, but it's not enough. So we need all of you to come and donate one fingernail or something, one eye. But He didn't do that because He realized he is enough. And at the time, Christ was enough. Yeah. There was nothing for us to do. So all of these techniques is just to guide us. At the end of the day, it's all about God. Even when you're trying to implement, you're trying to experiment with the suggestions, pick out the ones that stick to the wall that you have stamped them on to adopt. You still need God's guidance. You still need His direction.
Definitely.
You still need Him to be there for you, to help you as always, because we're helpless on our own.
I feel like one thing that both of us haven't talked about is the fact that sometimes in your bid to try and focus, you might have to be ruthless with some certain things.
Yeah.
Not even just like about yourself, but like other people, because other people at the end of the day sometimes are sent by the devil as distraction. So you have there are times where, okay, let me give you guys a very practical example. Yeah, I know maybe, so I hope my uncles and aunties watch this, so it's not about shading anybody, but at home, sometimes if I've said, okay, I want to pray one particular day, at certain times, believe you me, it is at those times that somebody will now come and knock on the door.
Exactly.
So when I noticed that, I started locking my door. So come rain, come sunshine, come hell, come high water, they can knock that door down. I'm not going to answer because at that point in time, I know what I'm trying to achieve. I have communicated it. Maybe they have forgotten, maybe whatever, but it's a distraction. So like, there's no knocking of door policy like that in my house. But at those points, I have to.
Because you have blocked that.
to,
I'm not
yes.
I need to write it down. Pomo.
No, that one is not. No, I am not serious. That one is not me applying Pomodoro technique. But my point is, I need to achieve something at that time. So, and I know that there are distractions that may or may not happen at that point. So I have to take extra measures to prevent it from happening. And if it means locking my door, sorry. Sorry, that's the thing about sorry. Like, it doesn't kill me. I can be like, oh, I'm sorry, you know. They can vex themselves. So I'm so sorry. This is what I was doing. Okay. So do whatever you need to do to cut out distractions in your life, if that seems like extreme.
Let me even add to what you said. I advise people, I like ebooks, I like the paperless thing we're doing now, you know. But the truth is, if you have identified, like I started by saying, know yourself, know your greatest source of distraction. If your greatest distraction is the phone or the social media, do not
turn off your data.
Either you turn off your data or do not even read ebooks. Because as long as you're with your phone, you will be tempted. You know, there's this thing, there's this mindset that, oh God, I'm missing something. There's a whole world out there that is just going on.
This week that just passed, I turned off my data for 24 hours and I thought I would die, but here I am, guys. I'm
do
still
that
alive.
I don't just turn off my data. Most times I turn off my phone.
Okay. Yeah. What if in church today say you should not turn off your phone? No,
is that what they said?
No, I'm just messing. But yeah, like
no, but I do that. When I really, especially when I have a challenging piece to deliver, I just turn off my phone. I've ever had cases where I'll just lock my phone in my drawer and then leave the house, we have this co-work station around my area. You pay for the day, use their facilities and just write. I leave my phone at home because you might just be reading a book, on your phone, and then a message comes in.
Those of you that need your phones for your job, don't do what you say, but things apply with
like I said, your throwing out stuff was throwing stuff at the wall. Whatever sticks is what you adopt.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you need to turn off your phone, turn off your phone.
If you need to put it aside.
You know what? Case in point, filming this episode, my phone is on airplane mode. Because what if somebody decides now call me this particular period and I cannot afford to have it,
and then just
like
to
that distraction? Do you get?
Not as if they have any relevant information to pass on. I just want to know how you're doing. How was chat today now?
That's usually what happens. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually trying to achieve something now, So yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. If you're reading an e-book, somebody might just, and then somebody who you'll be surprised that people who actually, when you have the time to connect with them, they're not available.
Oh my god, that was actually so apt.
It happens
because they will not call you. It's a distraction, but it's not anything
relevant.
Anyways, guys,
it happens to me. Like, I was okay, let me just read a book. For the next 2 hours, I want to read something on maybe strategy or anything actually. And somebody whose attention I've been trying to get for like several weeks and I didn't succeed, would just, hi, what's up? And I'm like, oh, this person replied to my message.
I know. Then
and trust me,
and you know what? At that point in time, it is actually just that's all. It's a distraction.
But it's difficult to know what it is at that time. It's difficult to identify for what it is.
If you're not disciplined, you just get sucked into.
Because in my mind is, this person has responded. And you want to all of the conversations that have accumulated, all of the gist and gossip and story. You would want.
It's true. By the time you're now done, you will now see
the
that
2 hours you had allotted.
George, sorry, I'm so sorry. I have to confess now.
Okay.
There was a time that you were going to be a distraction to me. I'm telling you.
This is not fair.
I'm telling you. I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was trying to prepare something. I can't remember, but it was really, I had like a time. You were now calling me that period. I think you wanted to tell me something or the other. I kind of knew what it was about. And I called the phone. I now sent him a text. I was like that. Sorry, I'll call you back.
That was last week.
Was it last week?
Yeah, it was last week. I remember.
People made me beg you.
Actually, we were chatting on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So I felt I wasn't making my point.
Yeah. He now
so I needed to call
me.
to really emphasize.
So I literally caught the phone and I was like, I sent my text. I was like, I'll call you back because at that, like, literally at that, you can be chatting and doing other things, but if I had picked up that call, see the way we're talking, it's 30 minutes. We need to end this episode. We would have been gisting. So I literally had to call the phone and I was like, I'll call you back because at that point in time, George was going to be instructed to me. And I
was surprised. I was like, Fizz is actually ending my call. What's happening? I said, okay, let me just be
cool. But
you
saw the text now.
I saw the text, but then it wasn't
so
convincing.
You guys,
so know what works for you. Yeah. Know your source, your greatest source of distraction, and then try to block it off. It's really easy with discipline, and then especially if you're passionate about the venture you're engaged in. If you're passionate about it, it's easy to achieve. It's really, and then don't forget God. God is the source of all wisdom and witty inventions and everything. If you're struggling with focus, if you're struggling with keeping focus, talk to Him. While implementing all of these suggestions we have made, talk to Him in between.
And He'll show you the ways
the testimony we got today about the lady who she knows she has been healed, but she doesn't want to find out what would happen if she stops taking the drugs. She believes in God, she prays, and she still takes the medication. That's how this should be.
And then everybody's not on the same level of faith.
Exactly.
So the Holy Spirit, will guide you.
Will guide you
in all things. Thank you so much, George.
Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate you.
I will not call around 12 in the day.
God, you're not serious. You're not even serious.
So I don't
Whatever, call me. And then if I cannot answer, I will let you know. But you guys, Papi and I, and I'm sure you guys hopefully enjoyed this episode and we did not talk too much. So thank you for coming, George.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So guys, that's it for today's episode of the show. If you're not already following me on social media, which is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everything, subscribe, share, like, be social, reach out to me, just chilling, we love you, you know how we do on this show. Anyways, my regular viewers, if you are new, you guys should just poke out because your goodbye kiss is coming. Receive it. Mwah! Mwah! George is kissing you guys too. See you on the next episode on Friday. Bye guys.